Hi, Happy New Year and welcome to the update for the market in the Wellington region as we interpret it. The last update in October, looking into the last quarter of the financial year, we predicted that volumes of sales would increase through October and November based on the shortage of stock and the activity in the marketplace. I'm rapt to say that that actually happened, and if we go to the sales stats graph for the volumes of sales in the Wellington region, we'll see that in October there were 709 sales. In November it increased to 813 sales, which is quite a dramatic increase over any November of the last 5 years. In December we dropped down to 611 sales, but that's still 5% in excess of any volumes we've had in the last 5 years as well. Coming back into the new year, we've seen that the activity from buyers is still very strong, but because there is a shortage of stock out there at the moment, buyers are having to compete for houses, and so the prices are staying fairly consistent. The real estate market, like any other, is a market of supply and demand, and if we look at the graph for the supply and demand, we'll see that in 2010 there was a very low demand and a high supply of houses. Through 2011 we ran really short on houses and the demand came up a wee bit, so the prices stayed very balanced. And towards the end of 2012 we got to a real stock shortage, and this is a national issue, but it affected us very much in Wellington, and the buyer demand started coming up. So shifting over the last couple of years, we've seen towards the end of 2012 particularly a turn to a seller's market. The inventory at the moment in the stock, in the New Zealand property market, is at an all-time low. You'll see by the graph that numbers nationally have come right down, and the average selling time, or the average amount of stock on the market, is just under 30 weeks worth. In Wellington we only have 18 weeks of stock on the market to sell at the moment, so that is a record low for us in this current market. What that means is that as buyers want to buy properties and there are so few around, we are creating competition in selling properties, and the prices are starting to lift. We haven't seen any increase in price for 4 or 5 years in the Wellington market. We have fluctuations depending on whether higher priced houses or cheaper houses are selling, and traditionally the cheaper houses under the 450 mark have been the ones that have been moving. What we saw through November and December, particularly in Wellington City and suburbs like Eastbourne, is that the higher priced houses started selling, and our average price for those offices started moving around $650,000 to $660,000. This movement will continue from Wellington. What happens in Wellington City and Eastbourne 1 month will happen in Lower Hutt and Parramatta 1 to 2 months later, and then Paraparaumu and Upper Hutt 1 to 2 months later. So the movement is starting to shift north. The current time of the year, February and March, are traditionally 2 of the strongest selling months volume-wise, and so we've seen a real strong lift in buyer demand since Christmas. The open homes have been well attended, even without much advertising going, and people seem to be in the frame of mind of wanting to buy houses at the moment. So this will see over the next couple of months hopefully increased competition and the prices starting to lift slightly. This is probably the most positive news we've seen in 5 years. We needed a growth in the volume to start before the stock levels went down and the prices started going up. We're hoping that over the next 2 months the prices should start lifting. So how do you take advantage of this? The most important thing when selling your house in this kind of market is to make sure you've marketed it properly. Expose it to every potential buyer and try to aim to create competition. If you can create competition at the end, then you will not only see fair market value, but hopefully you may see a premium above the fair market value. Good luck with your selling, and by all means call one of us straight away. Thank you.